Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ethereal Healing Arts. Thank you so much for being here. We already have our candle lit, and I will smoke some Palo. I won't smoke it, but I will burn some Palo Santo. Again, repelling all the trolls and bringing in those who resonate with my energy, my frequency, and my message today. Thank you so much for being here. So, I'll give you some context on my life right now. I'm currently dog sitting my parents' very, very old dog, and she has a cough. It's a wheezing cough. It's pretty squeaky. It's pretty strange sounding. So, one night while she was here, while I was dog sitting, I had a dream that tried to put together the pieces of the sound of her coughing, but in my dream world. So, my dog coughed once, and in the dream world, that was me unscrewing a water bottle, and the water bottle making a squeaking sound, just like the sound of her cough in my waking reality. And then she coughed twice, and I screwed the cap back on to the bottle with the same squeaking sound. And then I woke up, and I realized, oh, that was a cough, actually. That was, given this context here, that was my dog coughing, so I'm gonna go check on her. So I went downstairs, I checked on her, etc., etc. But that made me have a major realization, and it was a very cool experience because I thought to myself, the brain simply takes whatever input you give it and tries to connect the dots for you to create a pattern. In my dreaming world, I was drinking water from a water bottle, so the exact same sound was the water bottle. But in my waking reality, in this different context, my brain took the inputs available and said to me, actually, no, the pattern based on this context and based on the inputs is that there's a dog coughing downstairs that you should go check on. And so I did. But isn't it fascinating how two completely different sets of inputs were trying to make up for the exact same sound and trying to make sense of the exact same sound? To me, that's absolutely mind-boggling, and it makes me think of how can we change our life? I was thinking to myself, okay, what lesson can I learn from this? What is this trying to tell me? Because this is awesome. Like, this is amazing. And I thought to myself, okay, if we're thinking about changing our lives, staying empowered, and staying true to ourselves, the fact that the brain takes in whatever inputs we give it to create a pattern of, in the end, our choice, means that we can change the inputs we give the brain in order to change our patterns. Oh, isn't that cool? Isn't that kind of amazing? Yes, more than that. It is, I would say, revolutionary to think like that. For me, even though I've never consciously put this into words, I have been trying through mirror work, through meditation, through affirmations, through deep trauma work, through breath work. In so many different avenues, I've tried to change the inputs because I didn't like the pattern. But fascinatingly, I was working from the outside in. I was thinking, I don't like the pattern, so I'm gonna try, like, from the outside, let's say the top tiers, I don't like the pattern, so I'm gonna go downwards and try to change the pattern. But we could also start by looking at the inputs first. I don't like these inputs. They're not making me feel good, and they're probably resulting in a pattern that isn't for my highest potential and isn't for my highest good. So I'm gonna be trying to switch this thought pattern. Yeah, it is a thought pattern. I'm gonna switch the thought pattern up a bit, and instead of looking for the final outcome of changing the pattern, I'm going to try to look at the inputs and see, okay, what inputs am I giving my brain right now to create this given reality. And I encourage you to do the same. What inputs are you feeding yourself? I don't have social media anymore. And one of the main reasons that catapulted me into a life without social media is that I learned that the things that you scroll, like as you scroll through all of that stuff, it's called feed. Like it's literally called your feed. And I remember learning that and thinking, it's like we're pigs, like getting ready for the slaughterhouse. It really bothered me to learn that word, feed, like you're scrolling through your feed. Because you're basically feeding your brain random stuff, and it's so polluting on social media. It really, really is. And I know I'm speaking from a very strange perspective because YouTube is a social media platform, but we'll see where it goes. We'll really see where it goes. I've been questioning if this is the right thing for me because I am kind of against social media, but I'm wondering if this is a way I can make a difference. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see how this turns out. But I really hope that you can understand what I'm saying. To summarize, the inputs that you give your brain are what your brain will take to create new patterns and connect the dots for you in your reality. So if you're giving your brain shitty inputs, and first of all, if you're giving your brain very limited and negative beliefs, then your brain will only look for those in your outside reality. So for example, I used to have the belief that people are not trustworthy. But then I started doing mirror work, and one of my mantras was, people are trustworthy and kind. And my whole life shifted because now my brain had a new input that people are trustworthy and kind. Oh my God, people are trustworthy and kind? That was my brain. It was like, oh my God, we have a new piece of information. This is a new software added to my database or whatever, the software added to my microchip. People are kind. Oh my God. And then with that new input, it started creating new patterns because as I would meet people, I would see, oh my gosh, this is a kind and loving and beautiful person. And so I've made so many new friends that way. I've trusted myself more. I've trusted others more. And that's how I'm growing my community. That's how I'm growing my village. And it's just so important to be conscious of what inputs you're giving yourself. I would even go as far as saying as your belief systems are more important than any other input to start with. But also it's important to look at what food you're eating, what media you're looking at or consuming, how you're dressing, like what clothes you're buying. What are you purchasing? How do you spend your day? Like all these things matter. What do you eat? I forgot to even say that. That's an input. What do you eat? What do you listen to? What music do you listen to? What feedback, what advice do you allow to enter your life? All of those things really, really matter. And it's not about getting it perfect. Balance is not about staying upright all the time. Balance is sometimes about tipping over and then coming back into your upright position. Tipping over, swaying around a bit, being absolutely chaotic, and then realizing, oh, okay, I gotta hone it back in, get back on track. That's all part of balance. Balance doesn't look perfect. Balance looks very messy. It does. And so, with that, I will leave you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I cannot wait to see the comments on this video if there are any. I absolutely loved reading all the comments on the past videos and even the comments coming back in. And I want to say thank you for 100 subscribers. That makes me so happy. I genuinely didn't think, oh my God, I'm tearing up. I genuinely didn't think that after basically a month or two of doing this that I would have 100 subscribers. So I'm really grateful. Oh my God, I'm crying. But I'm really grateful for you guys. I love you guys so much, and I really hope that we can continue to grow our soul community. Thank you again, and bye.